fellow mutants.
Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the last Ronin sequel finally gets announced. Now on this channel, I have uploaded my reviews for the last Ronin. I have also read the Lost Years, and some of the reviews, as of this recording, have still yet to come, to be released, right? But my point is, I've read both the Lost Years and Last Ronin, and I've really enjoyed the spin they took on our heroes in the half cell. It was more I guess you can say more dark than I expected it to be, but I enjoyed it. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So the fact that we're getting we're finally getting a sequel that's being announced to be coming out in December of, was it last year? So it already came out. Sweet. Okay, let's continue. Okay, and it's called Re-Evolution. So, for some reason, I thought this was December 2024. But if it's already out, at least the first issue, hell, I'm game for it. Okay, so guided by Casey Marie Jones, the formidable and strategic daughter of April O'Neil and the late Casey Jones, the next generation of minstrels, Yi Uno, Oda, and Mojai, will face the ultimate enemy. So IDW has revealed they are expanding their Last Ronin story with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Last Ronin Re-Evolution. The original creative team behind The Last Ronin will return for the sequel series. Quote unquote, the real heart and soul for me was dusting off and bringing The Last Ronin to life 3 years ago. Was my belief that every beginning must have an end. And this is what Kevin Eastman said. With all the respect in the world for my co-creator, Peter Laird, I wanted to bring full circle to what we started in 1984 and set out to do in 1987. With The Last Ronin, my friend Tom Waltz, and an incredible gathering of brilliant artisans, we accomplished that 33 years later, a very fitting end indeed. And I feel well, first I met Kevin Eastman. He's such an amazing guy. But I was able to meet him in person. If you guys want to see a picture of it, you guys can go on my community page, scroll down some, and eventually you'll see me trying not to nerd out as I was smiling, interacting with a picture of Kevin Eastman. But I feel like The Last Ronin, the reason why it had the impact that it did is because if they actually did the Last Ronin art story in 1987, Serial might have been perceived as one of the coolest stories still. Probably would have been a tad bit different to how it is today, sure. But I think what makes the Last Ronin special, at least the actual Last Ronin story, not most of the Lost Years story, is that it waited 33 years, right? And plus Kevin Eastman was involved. It waited 33-ish years later. It was years in the making, literally from what we gathered. And since it was years in the making, and it kind of took what's classically known as the goofiest, most immature turtle, and say, yeah, he's classically known as the most immature hyper turtle. We're going to change your perspective on that, and they did it in the right way. Oh, and with a compelling story too. Oh, yes. Point is, I don't think The Last Ronin would have had as much of an impact back then as it does nowadays if it was released back then. Sure, it would have an impact, but the impact is definitely, I feel, greater nowadays. Because at the time, 1987, people were just starting to be introduced to the Ninja Turtles. 33 years later, like, oh, mm, mm. Um, so what's the Last Ronin Revolution about? Guided by Casey Marie Jones, the formidable and strategic daughter of April O'Neil and the late Casey Jones, next generation of Ninja Turtles, Yi, Uno, Odin, and Moja, sorry, will face the ultimate enemy, which is was confirmed in the Last Ronin Lost Years book that Yi, Uno, Odin, and Moja are like names. That means one in different languages to represent like the different areas Michael Anselm went on and his journey to becoming the last Ronin. Little backstory for you guys. But anyways, will these young heroes be able to adapt to the pressure of the city at war, featuring new foes and foils? This exhilarating and compelling next chapter in the Ronin verse is overflowing with turtle power as the last Ronin teams return to continue the stunning story. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution is co-written by Eastman and Tom Moltz, illustrated by Ben Bishop, Isua Escorza, and Isaac Escorza, colored by Luis Antonio de Golda, and lettered by Sean Lee. Which, by the way, I feel like also, before I continue, I think the one of the best parts about The Last Ronin is it kind of concluded where if you want to stop with the Ninja Turtles, like with like the OG Turtles, can, and there will be like no shame to you. But if you want to keep going with like Lost Years, where it kind of sprinkles in the Ninja Turtles, like new generation of Ninja Turtles a bit more, and this, well, obviously Last Ronin 2 Revolution, where they will like highlight the new Ninja Turtles more. There's also no shame in it as well. So I like how like the Last Ronin kind of like gives you the nice ending point if you want to end it right there with the Ninja Turtles, or I guess and you have a like of an era and beginning of a new one type of deal. Anyways, the incredible surprise on coming out of the end of the journey was the up. Sorry. This is what Eastman's added. The incredible surprise on coming out of the end of that journey was the opportunity to continue to tell stories beyond that ending. All new characters in a whole new universe to really sink our teeth into. And the best part, with all the original crew back to make sure we get it right. I can't wait for you to see what we have in store for them. And then Waltz also said, I couldn't be more excited and humbled to help bring the next generation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to the world. Awesome new stories and characters that stand firmly and respectfully atop the shoulders of the beloved legacy of the original namesakes. We're going to have our piece that needed too. So like I am immediately kind of like interested, like where will like this new generation of Ninja Turtles will go. How like what would be the similarities between this like the new generations of the Ninja Turtles and the older generation of the Ninja Turtles, and what will make them so special? Where they will stand out apart from the original Ninja Turtles. Because I think that's kind of important. Like, sure, have a few similarities here and there from the with the new and the original Ninja Turtle generation, but let's see, like outside of, like there being two guys and two girls in the Ninja Turtles, new Ninja Turtle generation. Let's see, like what the really the differences are, and I'm like the original Ninja Turtle team, their main nemesis was the Shredder, right? Um, I am curious, what will be the new Ninja Turtles team Shredder sort of like threat? I hope it's not someone taking on the mantle of Shredder, because that would feel kind of redundant. I want this new Ninja Turtle team to have their own Shredder-like level threat, Shredder-like enemy, because the Shredder was Michelangelo Leonardo's Donatello Raphael's main baddie. I want these generations to have their own main baddie too. Sure, maybe like you can like if any other villains from the Orokusaki era still around, sure. Sprinkle maybe one or two in, but like for the most part, new enemies and have their main baddie be different. That's my point. But I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to see this new story. Especially since Kevin Eastman is coming to the helm to like help bring this to life as well. So, and I feel like that's for me personally part of the draw of the sequel, and why I also got the Lost Years, because I was going at some point get the last Ronin, the first issue, like first 5 issues, anyways, of the last Ronin, right? But I feel like that was the draw for me to get in the Lost Years, and the draw for me to get the sequel, right? It's because of Kevin Eastman. He's my main draw into like the last Ronin universe. I'm really excited. Can't wait to see where the last Ronin sequel take us. How do you guys feel about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later.
Yeah! You like what you saw? Then give it up for a turtle!